I say that every day, but every day that's like the last thing on my list to do. And I'm so tired. I just want to go to bed. So I am working on it. I'm not avoiding it, but I will do my best to get it up today.
Yeah, yes. Tuesday nights is still not available either, is it?
Which one?
This past Tuesday night?
No, they should all be up now. They should be all be up on the YouTube channel, but then on the website, they're not there yet.
Could you show me on the YouTube channel?
You betcha. Let me see if I can share my screen here. I'm not sharing, so let me share. And let me move this out of the way. And we'll go to my channel and videos. And let's see, whoops. Am I on the right channel? No, this is Builderall USA. Let me log out and go to boot camps. There we go. That's probably a better place to check this out. And we'll go to videos. And we've got day 1 right there, day 2 right there, and day 3 right there.
No, I'm talking about the Tuesday night thing that
the Tuesday night training.
Yeah.
That is on the Builderall USA channel.
Yeah, I did see it up. It should...
Let me flip flop there and go to Builderall USA. Gosh, my brain is struggling again today, I think. And then we'll go to the channel and to videos. And let's see if we can find it. This one right here, Builderall Tuesday night training.
Huh.
Yep, we went live to that one too. So I think we were ready to go live to that one. But,
yep. Okay. Thanks very much.
We've also got a new training on the roulette wheel as well. So if you guys haven't seen how to do the roulette wheel yet, definitely check that one out, because the roulette wheel is a really cool way to engage your customers. So if they're getting ready to leave your website, you can actually have this pop up, and it's a wheel, like a Wheel of Fortune wheel, and they can spin it and get like a coupon to be able to use on your website. So check that out. It's real easy to set up, and it's very effective in getting that last chance engagement with your customer. So that one's brand new, got that up today. All right, today we're gonna go through making a webinar again, but we're gonna make it from scratch, and then we're gonna go through the Canvas to actually build the website this time. So super excited about going through Canvas, because this Canvas makes everything like so much easier, right? It's like Shazam, you've got a website. So we're gonna Shazam it today. So let's go ahead and jump in and get started. So I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. And then from here, I'm going to go into my Builderall dashboard. And I'm just going to go first into the webinar builder, and I'm going to build my webinar to make sure that, oh, wait, I got a lead. Look at that. That Bob is now in my network. Look at that. That's exciting. I don't know who Bob is, but welcome, Bob. And now I'm going to go ahead and go into the webinar platform and click enter. Yay me. And we're just going to build a webinar from scratch. So I'm just going to go new webinar, and I'm going to call this webinar 2, because I'm just not creative today. And then under description, I'll put webinar 2, and I'm not going to protect it with a password. And then I'm going to click create webinar. All right, here we go. So the live link I don't have yet. The recorded link I don't have yet. Email signature, I'm going to put Shelly, Builderall Diva. Or no, perfect. Not going to protect it with the password, and it is the US date format. So all that's perfect. On the content, I think I'm going to, what do I want to do? I think I want to do content from a YouTube video. We'll go ahead and do a YouTube video instead of going live, because I definitely won't have time to go live today. So let's go ahead and grab that video on the roulette wheel. So I'll just get the link to that. It's only about a 12-minute video, so that's not too bad. So there's the link. And so now we've got our content there. And now I'm going to schedule it. And I'm going to say that it's 15 minutes long. And I'll schedule it by a time. And this time I'm going to schedule it for the 29th at 5 o'clock. Here we go. And I'm going to do it my local time. So then the webinar start at 5 o'clock. And this one, it should be CST. And then we'll do EST. There we go. And no, I'm Central, so CST. So what it's going to do is it's supposed to set that time for your local time zone. And my local time zone where I'm at, like right now, is in Central time zone. So we're going to see if that works. It's I'm not guaranteeing that it's going to work, but for me, it's got UTC. It's actually got 8:29 at 10 o'clock, whereas this one has 5 o'clock. So I guess it is showing UTC. All right, so the webinar will start at this time, and then UTC is this time. All right, so we're going to go with that and see what happens. The time issue is like my biggest challenge with the webinar platform because I suck at converting time. And then on the chat, I'm going to enable chat. I'm not going to do pre-moderation. I'm not going to save the history. I'm not going to clear the comments every so often. And then for ghost users, I'm going to edit and I'm going to add just a few ghost users. So maybe at 10 seconds, we have Bob jump in and Bob says, hello. Perfect. And then at 20 seconds, we have Susie jump in. Let me get Susie here. And Susie says, wow, I love this platform. Perfect. And then at
wow, I love this platform.
I know, right? Good job, Susie. And then we have Liz that's going to
Rose again.
jump get started. And at 10 seconds, 20 seconds, and 1 minute in. So I'm going to save. And now I've got my ghost users. I'm going to set my chat height at 35% and maximum of 500 messages. And so that's perfect for me. And for statistics, that's going to update once I've had my webinar. And then mailing boss, it's a video. It's on a time. So I'm going to go ahead and import the standard rules. So we'll set it to connect to webinar 1, English, and send from Shelly at builderalldiva.com. Save. All right, so we've got all of our mailing boss stuff going out. We've got tracking going out. The mailing boss tracking, we can set up to track what's happening with our emails, opens, closures, and stuff like that. Then translations, if I wanted to translate it to a different language. And then for chat here, I think chat is, let's see, chat. No, schedule. Fantastic. Content. I want to make sure that everything's set up right. Edit the webinar. Fantastico. And I think that's everything that we want to set up. We need to make sure schedule is correct. So we're going for 15 minutes. The schedule's the start time. Here's the time. Here's the time zone, which is my local time. And we will start at 16:05. UTC is 10. I don't know what that is. Looks like it's 8:29 at 10 o'clock, which can't be right. So somewhere something is messed up.
Charlie, excuse me to interrupt there. When would you go back and put the links in there, the replay and the edit webinar?
Yeah, if I have the pages set up, let me see if I can find where that's at.
It's on the first one on top.
There we go. Once I create the website, I can find the broadcast page and put that in there. And then when the emails go out to send them, hey, your webinar is going to start at 5 o'clock. Here's the live link to connect. And then after the webinar, you can have a webinar replay page where you've got the recording, and you can put that link to the recording page. And then when the email goes out about the recording, it'll take that link and put it into the email. So, hey, here's where the replay is.
So
okay?
those two links, they have to be put in technically before you start the webinar at 10, correct?
That's exactly right.
All right.
Yeah, if you want emails to go out, yes. And typically, let me stop sharing a minute. Typically, you're not going to be creating a live webinar 2 hours before you do the live webinar, right? Not one that's got the emails going out. You may do a live webinar on the fly, but you won't set up emails to go out for them. This is going to be a webinar that you're going to set up a sign up page, a landing page, the email confirmation page, the indoctrination page, all those pages before they ever even get to the live page. And they'll be signing up for that webinar days in advance so they can get those emails sent out to remind them about their webinar. So you'll have the live link page, and you will have created, if you want to do a replay page, so that once the recording's there, you can actually grab the recording and put the recording link on that page so that you can have a live recording page as well. Okay. So this is all something that would be planned probably a week or two, if not more, in advance. So you'd have all those pages already made. Okay. So this is unusual.
I was confused. I was like, wait, how is it going? Yeah, now it makes sense.
Yeah. This, because we're doing it in such a hurry, it doesn't make sense. But this is what you would usually set up if you're setting up the emails to go out. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and jump back in. And so I've set up my email information, or sorry, my webinar information here. The content is going to be YouTube video, and there's the link. The schedule is going to start by time. It's 15 minutes long, and this is the time that it's going to start. And I set it to my local time, so it's actually supposed to be set to Central Standard Time. So I'm going to go ahead and put Central Standard Time because that's what I'm going to do. So we'll see if that works. But we'll set it and see what happens. And then for the chat, I want to enable chat. I can do pre-moderation. If you remember, if I go into the admin settings, I can actually manage the comments before they go live in the chat, and I can make them so that they don't go live if they're obnoxious. So I could do that if I want to. I'm not going to do that though. I can save the history, and when I click that and save the history, I can actually set it up so that the history is emailed to me, or I can go and set it up for Facebook to actually automatically send to my messenger. So that's what I'm going to do in this one. I'm going to save the history and go to integration to use the chat bot to get those messages through the chat bot. So before I can set up the integration, I need to make sure that I'm set up with my chat bot. So let me go into my Facebook chat bot, and I'm going to click enter. And I'm entering into the Facebook chat bot, and right here, I'm going to go to integration. And I've got an integration. I'm going to create a new integration right here. And the integration name is Boot Camp Training on Webinars. Fabulous. And then it says select the application to integrate with. And I'm going to select webinar. And then I'm going to select the page. So what page, what Facebook page that I have connected do I want to get the messages through? So I'm going to just say member bytes. That's as good as any. And then it says click on the button below to get your Facebook ID to send the messages to. And let's see. And I'm going to, there it is. So send messages to Shelly Turner. So I'm going to get my messages. And that's where I get the messages, is under Shelly Turner, under the page member bytes. And now I'm going to click submit. And there's our chatbot integration. And I need to get this lovely little key right here. So I'm going to copy that key. And then I'm going to go back into the webinar settings. And I'm going to go to integration. And I'm going to go to Facebook. And then I'm going to put in the integration key. Now, we can choose from either Facebook or email. Yesterday, I think it was, I set it to email. And it was actually really neat because about every hour, I think, I got an updated email with any new comments that were put into the chat. So that's how I was able to stay updated with things, with comments, was actually through email. But this one, I'm going to do Facebook and use the integration key. And so if anybody makes comments on this webinar, they'll go through Facebook to MemberBytes and show up on my messenger. And then I can actually send a message right back. So I'm going to go to save. And now that's actually integrated so that the chat bot will capture those chat comments and send them straight to me. Excuse me. And then I can actually respond to the comments. Let me share my screen and make sure you guys got that. So that is how easy it is to integrate the chat bot. Is first I have to create an integration key by going into the chat bot, the Facebook chat bot app. And then I'm going to create an integration. And when I create that integration, I'm going to clarify which page I want to use, because the messages have to go through a page, right? All messenger stuff goes through. When you're talking about a chat bot, they're connected to a page. So we have to designate the page.
Of a website? Of one of your, any random website of yours?
No, a Facebook page.
Oh, thank you. Could it be a page, not a group or a profile? Got
Exactly, because when we talk about chat bots on Facebook, they're only on pages. They're not in groups. So when we're using this particular feature, we have to designate which page, Facebook page, we're going through. So I picked MemberBytes. And so now when that webinar starts to go and people start chatting, it will get the chat in the chat on the page, right? So the webinar is going and people are chatting. So Susie decides she wants to do a chat. She's going to type something in. It's going to show on the chat on page, but it's going to also send me a message to MemberBytes. And I don't have to be physically on the webinar. I just get the message through Facebook. And I can answer Susie back straight through MemberBytes Facebook page. And it then will go through the chat bot, through the Facebook page, and then into the chat on the webinar platform. So it's kind of a third-party roundabout system to get messages out and then get messages back in. Does that make sense? Chip, do you want me to show it to you one more time?
Yeah, I do actually.
Okay, good. Because you had that look like, what the crap did you just do, Shelly?
Pieces of it are making sense.
Okay, so let's jump through it one more time just to make sure. So I'm going to go to the webinar platform first, and right here where it says chat, I did not have it checked where it says save history. So I'm going to uncheck that. And that just kind of disappears. It's kind of one of those hidden things that if you don't know about it, you're not going to find it. So under chat where it says save history, I'm going to check mark that. And I'm going to click integration. When I click integration, I've got the choice of integrating via email. So I can do the chat integrated to email, or I can integrate it into a Facebook page. If I do email, then I can put my email address, and then I can choose how often I want to get updates on new chat messages. And that's what was happening to me yesterday was I set it for 1 hour. And literally every single hour I was getting emails if there was any new chat comments. So that's one way to stay updated. The next one is Facebook page messenger. So I can put my Facebook in there, and then I go to the chat bot and get the integration key. So to get the integration key, I jump into the Facebook chatbot app. I go to the integration area, and I'm going to create a new integration. Okay, that's what I did right here. And I'll just click to go through it again. I just named it. And then I said I want it integrated with the application webinar. That's the only one we can integrate right now is webinar. And then I had to select my Facebook page that I wanted to use as the messenger platform to be able to receive these messages. So I just chose MemberBytes. And then it said send messages to, and it said to click on that button to choose what profile, what account you wanted to use. And my account was Shelly Turner. So I'm using the MemberByte page on the Shelly Turner account. And then once I hit submit, it creates this item right here with a key. So I copied that key and then brought it back over here to the webinar platform and pasted it as the integration key, and then click save. And now everything's set up so that while the webinar is going, if somebody chats, it's not only going to show in the chat window next to the webinar, it's also going to show on my messenger for member bites on that page, and I can answer back. And it's cool because all I have to do is have my phone with me, and my phone will ding that I got a new message, and then I can answer it straight on my phone, and it'll go through Messenger back into the webinar platform in chat and answer that person as if I was there.
Would you have had to set up anything with the Facebook chat bot prior to what you just went through?
Yes, I already have several pages connected, so you'd have to connect the page if you don't have a page connected.
Okay.
That's not very hard to do though. If you'll go through the chatbot training, you'll see how to do that pretty easy.
I'm sure.
You don't have to have subscription messaging set up or anything like that. It's just a pure connection to the page is all it is. Okay.
Okay.
Shelly, that's wonderful. I mean,
Yeah.
awesome. But let me ask you, it means that I will create, for instance, evergreen webinar, and this will work every time.
Yep. All you have to do is have your phone next to you, and you can answer them if you want to.
Awesome, because here in Brazil, webinars works very good for conversions. Thank you very much.
You're welcome very much. That's exciting. I can't wait to hear, Susie, that you have implemented this and you now have 52,000 new clients on Builderall.
Oh well, I'm working on my own red carpet to the affiliate program with Builderall.
That's fabulous. Yeah.
On your own game, you know.
Yes, this is a great tool, and it is really, really exciting to use because again, it's just like you're there with them. It's like you're there live with them, but you can be literally in bed in your pajamas and you're typing an answer back to them, right? So it's absolutely fabulous. So a really, really neat feature. So we've got our webinar completely set up. So I did my edit webinar, my content, my schedule, my chat. I don't have any statistics yet. I already set up Mailing Boss. I don't have any Mailing Boss tracking to capture because we're really not going to do a whole lot with this. And then I don't need to do translation. So we've got the webinar, just the basics set up. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually grab onto the information about this webinar. So here we go, webinar 2. And I need to go to this area. This is where the information is to integrate the webinar. So I'm going to click it and I'm going to get the ID and the secret key, and I'm going to put that into a notepad. You guys will find out quickly that notepad is one of my best buddies on my computer because I can just save information really quickly when I need to, when I know I need to use that information somewhere else. So there's the information that I need. And now I'm actually ready to go to start setting up my, my Canvas. So now let's go ahead and jump into Canvas and see if we can create a webinar through Canvas. So I'm going to go back up here. I'm going to go to Home. And let's see if we can find Canvas right here and enter. And we're going to create a new funnel. So I'm going to call it webinar 1 and webinar 1 and then next. And then it says, what do you want to do? What kind of funnel do you want to make? Do you want to generate leads, generate sales, or create an event? And the event category is great for promoting products or hosting webinars. Holy cow, I think that's what we want to do. So I'm going to click create an event. And now it's going to show only those that are set up to do events. So I've got a product launch plus, a webinar funnel, webinar for membership, an auto webinar funnel. I think I'm going to do the webinar funnel right here. We'll see what that one is. So I'm going to click it. And now I get to pick my theme. So am I going to do an empty theme, a car theme, weight loss theme? They don't have an underwater basket weaving theme yet, but they do have a pretty good, let's see, the business theme. Let me see if I can find the business theme. Where was that at? Or did we have a business theme? We've got agency, coach, business theme. That one was a pretty good one. So I'm going to go ahead and select that one. And now I've got the webinar set up. So let me kind of move these pages around so I can see them a little better. Here we go. And let's talk about the path that they're going to go to be able to go to all of these pages, because all these pages can be a little bit confusing. So let's talk about why in the world are all these pages here. So the first page is the webinar registration page. This is the opt-in form where they're going to opt in to be able to attend the webinar. Then they're going to hit the email confirmation page that says, hey, confirm your email. Once they click confirm in their email, they're going to be sent to the webinar confirmation page. Then once they're sent to the webinar confirmation page, they're going to be sent to the webinar indoctrination page. And this is usually a page that has a timer that says, hey, you got just a little while longer and the webinar will start. Once that timer goes to 0, then you've got a webinar broadcast page. And on the broadcast page, there is a checkout. So you're selling a product. And on the checkout page, once they go through and purchase the product, they're sent to a thank you page where if it's a digital product, they'll be able to download the item. If it's a physical product, then it would just say, you know, congratulations, we'll be sending your product soon. Okay. So that's the whole lineup of all of these pages. But we have to do some setup inside of Canvas to be able to make this work. And the first one is the form. So I'm going to right click the form and go to edit element. And now I have to create a form, an opt-in form, to make sure that when they sign up, their email goes into a subscriber list. So I'm going to select my service, which is Mailing Boss. And I haven't made a list for this yet. So I'm going to do create list. And for the list name, I'm going to call it webinar 2. And list description, webinar 2. And email from name, Shelly at builderalldiva.com. Email, oops, sorry, that was supposed to be my name. So we'll put this in the from, and then this is going to be Shelly. Crappity crap. Try it again. Crappity crappity crap. We'll try this again. All right, so webinar 2. Webinar 2. Shelly Turner. Shelly at builderalldiva.com. And reply to is no reply at builderalldiva.com. Fabulous. So if I click create, it's going to create that mailing list, that subscriber list. It did it on the fly. It's actually in Mailing Boss right now. But it is the absolute most basic that you can get, which means it probably only has the email field and that's it. It's not collecting any other information. And I don't have anything else specifically set for it as far as company information or anything like that. So it's got the from email, it's got the email field. If I want to add anything else, then I'm going to have to do that after I create this website. So I got the form filled out. I'm going to right click it again and edit element. And I want you to notice that the pending subscribe page is already set, and that's the email confirmation page. And then the subscription confirm, meaning once they click confirm in their email, that's already set to the webinar confirmation page, which tells them congratulations, you are officially confirmed. So all of that's already set already. The next one I'm going to do is the webinar area right here. So I'm going to right click on that and go to edit element. And right here, I've got the webinar feature. And all I have to do is put in the ID and the secret key. And remember, we saved that in our notepad. So there's my ID right there. I'm going to copy. Let me try it again. Oh my gosh. And paste. And then I've got to put the secret key in there. So I'm going to go here and copy the secret key. And then paste it right here. And then that one's good to go. So I've got the webinar one already set up. The page is set up for me. I've got it connected. Everything is good to go. So super excited about that, how easy it was. And then the next thing I can do is the checkout offer. I'm going to right click that, go to edit element. And I'm going to say this is Shelly's amazing product. And I'll set the price on it at $1 whole. And then I've got the success page set up as the thank you page. And we're not going to give access to any restricted area or anything like that. So now we've set up the checkout as well. So let's think about what we've done so far. We've got a user that's going to the registration page. There's going to be an opt-in form on there. They're going to fill out that opt-in form and hit submit. And they're going to go to the confirmation email page. it's going to tell them, go check your email, confirm your email. Once they click confirm, then let me send to the webinar confirmation page that says, congratulations, you're confirmed, you're ready to go. This is going to trigger those emails that are going to go out to remind everybody that the webinar is coming up. Okay, remember we set up those emails. So it's going to remind them based on what days we said to send them out, so that they're going to get reminders of that, that webinar. In the link, we want to make sure that the link that gets into the emails are actually the webinar indoctrination page, so that they go to this page. And if they go too early, if that link is in the email and they go too early, they'll have a timer that says, whoops, you got a little bit longer to go, about 4 hours. Okay, so they'll see that page, they'll see the countdown, then the countdown will be set up so that it hits the broadcast page when the countdown gets to 0. And then once the countdown gets to 0 and they hit the broadcast page, the webinar will start. Now, once the webinar starts, at some point, either the checkout is going to appear or it's going to be there already. And when they go through the checkout process, they'll actually then, after they purchase, be sent to the thank you page where they can get information about how to access their product. So we've set everything up, and I'm going to go ahead and click save and OK. And we've saved this canvas. So before I move on, let me stop sharing and look at your eyeballs and make sure that everybody understands what we've done so far. Do you have any questions about what we covered? Chip, question?
Yeah, Mr. Question today.
That's okay.
If I'm understanding correctly, could you go back to the screen share?
Yeah, absolutely.
Where it says webinar, that actually could live, no, the under the webinar broadcast page,
Right here.
where it says webinar, that could actually be what's inside that little rectangle window there on the broadcast page.
This right here.
Yep. Is that where the webinar actually would live?
Yeah, that's actually where that HTML app. Do you remember when we go in and we grab the webinar, which is actually just the HTML iframe?
On the other hand, checkout is a separate page, right?
No, it's actually just the checkout here is the old checkout, not the super checkout. So all it is, you don't see it on this page because this is just an example image of what the page looks like. But
it would be on that same
down
page.
below. Yeah, it's probably down below the video.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. That was a good question, though. Remember on the canvas that the image of the page type is not exactly the way the page is going to look all the time. Okay, so there may be some times that you see an image of like a webinar page, and then when you actually get to the real page, you're like, that doesn't even look like the image at all. It's because there's just so many different ways to make those pages. And they just kind of gave an example image of what that page might look like. Okay. Any other questions? Gabriel, go ahead. And then I'll get Edison.
Actually, Edison is first. He raised his hand before me.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Edison.
Thank you very much, Gabriel, for conceding.
You guys have such good manners. I'm so proud of you.
I didn't even realize that I put up my hand before his. So he was actually paying attention. All right. Okay. So my question is, I have two questions. One, how do we now connect the Facebook Messenger to this funnel? And secondly, what do you do in an instance where, all right, in my particular case, I'm looking at a network marketing opportunity, but the company that I represent, they do have their own website where you make your purchase. So how do I simply modify to put in the URL for them to go to if they want to make a purchase? How do I navigate that? Those are my two questions.
So the Facebook chatbot, we actually already talked about integrating. We did that when we went to the Facebook chatbot and got that integration key and then put it into the webinar.
Okay.
So we've already done that. So that's great. Now, if you want to put the chatbot on the website, then that's a little bit different set of things that you have to do. So you'll have to go back to the chatbot training, So you can
Mhm.
see how to get the code for the chatbot to add it to the Facebook, or sorry, to the website. So you can have the chatbot actually actively on the website. But what we did was integrated the chatbot into the webinar. Okay.
Okay, so let me just interrupt you a moment here. So I saw where you integrated into the webinar. Now we are talking about the canvas here. Okay, so the canvas already has the webinar built into it, or do we now have to go? It is.
Yes, when we went through the canvas and we right-clicked that little bitty box that says webinar,
Yeah.
we put the ID and the secret key in there. And that's
Okay.
everything I need, because on the webinar page in Canvas, it's already got the webinar app on there.
Okay, all right, okay, so I see it. So basically, we still need to set up the webinar platform first.
Mhm.
Then we attach it to the canvas.
That's right.
And you do that via the integration key as well as the secret.
Yes. The ID and the secret key. That's exactly it. So you do have to make the webinar first.
All right. Okay.
Try to do Canvas and then integrate. You don't have an ID or a key that you can use.
All right. Okay. I'm clear on that.
Good. And the next question was, what was the next question? I forgot already.
Okay. So all right. The other question had to do with the messenger, because in my instance, I do have a bias for messenger as compared to emails. I find emails. I am guilty of not answering emails, and of that, I think everybody else does the same thing.
Yep.
Okay. So I think we do get a better response to messenger, and so that's my preference. So I'm just looking at using that maybe alongside emails, catch wherever you can, instead of simply focusing on emails only.
That's great. And if you want to use Messenger on the website, now
Yeah.
it's integrated into the webinar, but here's the dealio about it being integrated into the webinar is the users that are chatting during the webinar don't know. They actually don't know,
Okay.
because they're chatting on the webinar page in
Right.
that chat window.
Mhm.
They have no clue that when they chat in the chat window, that is being sent to you through MemberBytes or whatever page you connect it to.
Okay.
They have no clue. That is strictly for your use. So you don't have to be on the webinar to be able to answer those questions that pop up at the webinar.
Okay. Got it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, sure it does. Okay. So over to you, Gabriel.
Thank you. No problem. Yeah, I have a few questions here. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get off the track, but it's along the what we're talking about here. On the checkout first, that's a little confusing to me. Checkout is just their credentials, just their email and phone, whatever, phone number, name, etc. What's the checkout?
No.
We're not
No,
selling anything yet.
Well, you may be. That's why they put the checkout on that page. You can take it off. You don't have to leave it on there.
All right.
They put the checkout on there because most of the time when you're doing a webinar, you're selling something. Most of the time.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's not always just giving value and then not selling anything.
True.
So they put the checkout on there, and that checkout is the old checkout, right? So it's not the super checkout, it's the old checkout. And you put in the product name, you put in the price, and I don't remember what else we put in, but we put in just enough information that when they go through that checkout, they'll have to register an account just like they do on the regular checkout. So they'll have to register, then they'll have to go through the purchase process. And when they go through the purchase process, the next page they should see afterwards is that thank you page.
Oh, I see. Okay, good. More. That's very good clarification. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me add one more thing in there. I don't know how this one is set up, but you can actually have it set up so that the checkout doesn't show up right away. Do you remember how we can right click and we can do actions, and we can actually delay actions so things fade in and fade out? We can actually set it up so this doesn't fade in until like 20 minutes into the webinar, so that this doesn't even show until 20 minutes. And then 20 minutes in, you can say, all right, you should see a checkout down below. and you'll be able to purchase this product right now, but do it fast because it's going to go away in 5 minutes, something like that.
Is that pop-up button that's going to pop up, right? Correct?
It's actually you can do the whole checkout.
The whole checkout is going to
you can do the whole checkout. You can have the checkout on there and then just put a box over it and have the box fade out after 20 minutes. Yeah.
Good. Oh boy, I'm glad I asked that question because you answered 3 more questions that I didn't even think about. And also on all the video that shows on the canvas, technically we just have to go to each page and embed the code, correct? For each, whatever we want to be on that page.
Yes,
right?
And you don't have to have it designed the way it's designed. What it's going to do is we chose the business theme. So the business theme is going to be designed a very specific way. Once we generate the website, we are going to jump in and check it out and see what it looks like. And then we have the freedom to change it any kind of way we want to.
So, because now we're in the pixel perfect, correct?
That's right.
Right. Okay. And then you're not showing the email sequence on the canvas, correct, for the webinar?
No, it's all integrated into the webinar. We already set it up for the webinar, so we're actually good to go.
Right. And then speaking about the email sequence, here is I just got it right when you're talking with Edison.
Yay.
I got the 5 emails here. I didn't do anything today. I didn't touch anything, but this is the emails I got. This is the first one, second one, third one, fourth one, fifth one. I got 5 emails sitting right here.
Apparently, you are really, really, really invited.
So it's technically what this means. I got all your 5 sequences, all the 5 emails at once.
Shazam.
And that's because you set it up for 10 o'clock, and that's why it's already. But it shouldn't be like that, correct?
Yeah, I think the timing is definitely having an issue. So I'm going to have to go to the developers and see if they can either clarify for me what's going on and what I'm doing wrong, or fix the problem, because it says 10 o'clock UTC time. Oh no, I know exactly what I did wrong now.
I should have only got 1 maybe, but not 5, because you send the whole sequence.
I know what I did wrong. I know what I did wrong. So I'll go back and show you what I did wrong, because it's clear to me now what I did. And it's, again, a time issue that Shelly has a hard time understanding. This is why I'm late for everything, you guys. This is why I'm never on time, because I just don't understand time. I lose track.
If you want to go ahead and show it, that's fine. I got 2 more technical.
Yeah, I will. Let me jump in and show it, since we're like right on that. So let's see. We're in Canvas. This one. Let me see if I've still got the webinar platform open. Nope, not there, not there, not there, not there. So let's go to the webinar platform, and we will change what I did wrong. And that is the same thing I did wrong yesterday, actually, which is if I go down here to the very bottom, and my mouse doesn't want to work right here. So we'll go down to this webinar, and I'll go to edit and go to schedule. And remember, when I click the start time, it's the 29th. But it's not at 5, because that's 5 a.m. It's actually 17, right? 1700. So that's the right time right there. And then my local time. So that would be 5 o'clock. My local time is when this would start. So that's a better setup right there. Instead of 5 o'clock in the morning.
This is 24 hours setup.
You know, it's 24 hours. That's right.
Here in Brazil.
So it's clear that Shelly doesn't handle the 24-hour setup very
well. No, it's because I think in the States it's 12 hours, right?
Yeah,
I don't handle it good either. I can't.
Yeah, we typically do the 12
That's military time.
Yeah, yeah.
That's why it's boot camps, because it's military.
That's right. Exactly. So that's what I did wrong. So Gabriel, actually now, if somebody registers for the webinar, they should get the timing of the emails perfectly.
Because I registered yesterday, not today, but hey, that's fine.
Yeah, I connected to the same email list, so I think that's why.
Yeah, my other questions would be.
I didn't do that, so I don't know why you're getting it. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. My other question would be, if I want to integrate a get them to opt-in but I want them to go to a membership area and watch the webinars in the membership area. Can I insert that membership somewhere in the, in the beginning?
Yes, you'll have to do a little bit of finagling on the Canvas side, and that's a little bit of extra training on Canvas, but you can actually do that exact thing where you have them going into a membership area, but you'll have to have them register on the site with a username and password to be able to do that, or to purchase the webinar to be able to get into that membership area. So there's a little bit more setup involved and making sure that it's set up correctly so that they can log in and get into that membership area, but it is actually doable.
Yeah, because that's what I'm trying to accomplish here. And then, because then I have 3 webinars that I have to do. And then, so after this webinar, the first webinar, they come in, it's live. I want to do it live and then ask a bunch of questions and then schedule it for tomorrow. So that way I keep engaging the prospects, create that bond and relationship and trust. And then come back tomorrow, and then whoever is interested, they'll show up. Who's not, they'll drop out. So that's good. Now I got qualified prospects, and that's why I want to get them to the. And then now I'm getting very technical here. Can I also set up the reminders for tomorrow's webinar and for the third webinar? Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. You can set up the reminders, and then just have them maybe at the end of your first webinar. Tell them, something like, if you're interested, we got another one going tomorrow, register for tomorrow's to make sure you get your reminder emails. And that way they are set up to be able to get that next set of reminder emails.
So I do have to set up another registration for tomorrow. So that way they're not going to be automatically, saying, okay.
Right.
And
or the other option, honestly, is when in your first email list, you set up an email sequence to trigger on that next webinar. So they're already signed up. The next webinar, you don't set up the emails through the webinar platform. You set it up through the email marketing system through Mailing Boss and let them trigger based on the list that they joined for the first webinar. So that second webinar, the emails are triggered by Mailing Boss, not the webinar.
Yeah, because I want to eliminate a lot of friction and confusion on their end, and do this and do that. So the more I can automate it, and it's like, hey, you guys are going to get an email tomorrow at the same time. We'll see you here, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. And you'll have already made the broadcast page for it. So all you have to do is give them the link, and they'll be able to log in and access the page, and to get access to that through the email that you send through Mailing Boss instead of through the webinar platform. So that'll prevent them from having to register again. So that's another way you can do it. This is so flexible, you guys, that there's tons of ways to do it. And personally, I don't think there's really a wrong way to do it, as long as you're capturing their emails and you're getting them to the webinar. There's really not a wrong way to do it.
Yeah, and on that checkout, back to the checkout earlier, because my checkout, what I'm envisioning and what I want to accomplish is to put a calendar so they can register for a one-on-one right after all this.
You absolutely can. And I would definitely do that as a hidden calendar first. So put that box over it and don't let it show up until a certain amount of time in. Because what's going to happen is, 1 minute in, everybody's signed up for their time and they don't watch the rest of it.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it's at the end, all the way at the end. Maybe just send them an email or something. So, just wanted to do it private and etc. Not everybody has it. Yeah. All right. Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions before we keep going, you guys? All right, let's jump in and go ahead and create our new website. This one's exciting to me because I always get excited working in Canvas and create new websites from Canvas. So we've got everything in here. We've got our form figured out, our webinar, our checkout. So let's go ahead and save one more time because save is our friend. And then we're just going to go to create the website. So I'm going to click that button and I'm going to name it webinar 2. And I'm going to click create. And now it's going in the background and it's creating all of these pages for me. It's connecting all the funnel together for me. It's creating the form, the webinar, the checkout offer. All of that it's creating in the background. And then it tells me, Shelly, I was successful. So what happens now is I can click OK and I can just stay right here in Canvas and keep working. or I can click access the website, and it's going to open up Pixel Perfect, and it's going to open up this website so I can start editing. So I'm going to go ahead and click access the website. And now this particular website is opening up, and it's got all of the pages that we asked for it to do. So now all I have to do is go through and just edit these things so that it has exactly what I want in it. So you can see it's real generic. I don't have headers and I don't have footers. So I need to work on those and make sure that I understand that everything I put in the header, every single page in this layout is going to have the same header. And then everything I put in the footer, every single page in this layout will have the same thing that's in the footer. So whatever I do to the header and footer is affecting all the pages in this layout. And then I need to just change the content. So I've got my big header, my H1, and then I've got my little header. I've got an intro video if I want to have an intro video. I don't have to have that video there. I can put an image there. I can put anything I want to. I can change the information where it says live event. So for this one, I can say that it is August the 29th, and it is at 6 o'clock Eastern time. And then this should be configured. Let me go ahead and click save so I don't lose that information. So save, 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 and it's going to think about it a lot. But you can see that
Really, I thought
already.
you said 5 o'clock.
Yeah, but that was Central Time. This is Eastern.
Oh, okay.
So this one should already be configured. So if I right click and go to change URL, well, it doesn't have the actions. So that's surprising because it usually configures the pages for me. So no problem. We're going to set it to go to page, and we'll go to the email confirmation. And then for the subscription confirmed, we're going to set it to go to the webinar confirmation page. So those are the two pages that it should have been connected to no matter what. So I'll click confirm, and then we'll set it to go to Mailing Boss and log in and webinar 2 and confirm. So there we go. So we've configured it all, very easily done. And I want you to notice something very, very important. Remember when we set up the subscriber list, we did it on the fly in Canvas. And when you do it on the fly in Canvas, it just does default settings. So the only field that it got was the email field. So that's the only field that I have in that subscriber list. I don't have their first name. I don't have any other information, just email. If I wanted more information than that, I would have to go into Mailing Boss, add the field that I want or fields that I wanted into that subscriber list. And then I'd have to go here and connect it again so it could go to Mailing Boss, get those other fields and bring it in. Okay, this is good enough for me for demonstration purposes for sure. So we'll leave it like this. All right, I'm going to click save.
So Shelly, just sorry to interrupt you. So can I also put on this registration I've seen where a lot of times you can ask for the phone number for SMS?
Yep, absolutely. You can.
That's back in Mailing Boss to do it,
yep,
correct?
That's in Mailing Boss. And make sure, let me look at your eyeballs to make sure you get this. When you do it, you're going to need the prefix along with the phone number, because if you're going to do SMS, it has to have the prefix to understand what country it's sending to. Okay.
So that's going to ask me in Mailing Boss to set the prefix, correct?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
Yep. Okay. Let me share my screen again. And so we've got this. We're going to pretend like this page is like completely set up. Okay. And then I'm going to go to the page icon, and I'm going to go to the next page, which is the email confirmation page. And this is the page that should just tell me, check your email and click on the confirmation link. So this is absolutely fabulous. I can't do any better than this. So then I'm going to check the webinar confirmation page. So this is the page that I go to when I go to my email and I click confirm. So when I go to my email and click confirm, I get to see this page, and it's got a video there. So if you want to add a video to say, hey, we're so glad that you registered for this webinar. Let me tell you a few things that you need to know before the webinar starts. Make sure you do this, make sure you do that, make sure you do that. So you want to make sure to change the date. So I'm going to go here to August the 29th at 6 o'clock Eastern time. And then I would put instructions for them if I had instructions, who was hosting, and then make sure you don't miss this life-changing event. And then here's a button that says next step. If I click next step and go to action, it should be taking me to the webinar indoctrination page. This is the page that we want to send them to in our email when we send out the reminders about the meeting. Okay, this is the indoctrination page, and I'll show you why we want them to go to this page. So everything looks great here. I'm going to go ahead and click save, and then save again. Oh, and I made some money. I heard the cha-ching. That's fabulous. So let's go to the indoctrination page. So that's this one right here. And on this page, this is where we should have the countdown to when this webinar begins. So get ready for your upcoming webinar. This is how you get blah, 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 blah. Here's a video. And then you want to change the date and time. So August the 29th at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And then make sure you don't miss this life-changing event. Now there's a next step here. And if we click that and go to action, it's set to go to the broadcast page. So you can allow them to click this button to go to the broadcast page, or you can set this timer up so that the timer is set up to go at exactly the time that it needs to go. So you can right click it and go to edit and set up the timer so that the timer is activated. And then the action is that it goes to a page and goes to the broadcast page when the timer gets to 0. Okay, so you can set that up either way. You can allow them to go to the broadcast page with the button, or you can allow them to go to the broadcast page automatically when the timer gets to 0. Doesn't matter which one. I'm going to go ahead and take the timer off and just leave it the button. So you can actually see they can just click the button. So we'll leave it at that. And I'm going to click save and then save again. All right, so now they have the ability to go through all these pages. When they click the next step, actually, I'm going to change that and say join webinar. Join webinar. Here we go. Perfect. Now click save and save again. And now the next page we want to look at is the actual broadcast page. So I'm going to go to pages and layout, and we're going to go to the broadcast page. And on the broadcast page, we should actually see our lovely little broadcast video. And we should actually see a chat too, I think. So let me see if I can see if the chat shows up. Dun, 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 dun. There we go. Yay. And I'll make this window a little bigger so we can put this in there like this. And then like this. Fabulous. And then we have a button here, and the button action goes to checkout main. So this might actually be connected to the super checkout. I'll check it out in a few minutes. And then there's a timer here. So it says this offer will expire when the timer reaches 0. So you can actually set it up so that when this timer reaches 0, the page changes. They don't get the buy now button anymore. So you can actually change it up a little bit so that the button disappears, which is really interesting. So there's a lot of different ways that you can do this. You get to decide how this works. So let me pull all this down here. We'll make this area a little bit bigger like that. Fabulous. And then I'm going to go to save and save again. And then the last page we're going to check out is actually the thank you page. So on the thank you page right here, we can see that there is a video. So if you want to say, hey, congratulations, you just got a fantastic product. Thank you so much for buying from us. And then there's a button if you want to use it that can either take them to the product, or you can remove that button, or you can make it a download button, whatever you want to do on how you want to deliver the product that they just bought after the webinar. So that is the kind of the whole design of the funnel. There's a lot of work to do, right? To do the content and design to make sure all of it is set up. And then on the webinar broadcast page, let's make sure that it's got the correct ID. So I'm going to go to edit, and I'm going to open up my notepad, and there's the ID, which is correct, and then the key, which is correct. And remember, we set that in Canvas, so it actually did it for us, so we didn't have to actually do it. So again, it's just a really neat way to set this up, you guys, so that when you do it in Canvas, there's just not a whole lot more setup that you have to do. So I'm going to go ahead and save again. And now let's take a look at the live site. So before I do that, do you guys have any questions about what we looked at, the pages, the way they're set up, anything? Gabriel, go ahead.
I think that's really good. You know, the funny thing is I had a course on Skillshare on writing a mission statement, and they closed it out, and that was the one that had the most people that listened to that course.
Oh,
I think I'm going to use it in the webinar.
Good. That's
platform and
fabulous.
sell it that way.
That's fabulous. And don't forget, you guys, that you can do a YouTube video too. So any of our, like the webinars that we do with Builderall that are public in the Builderall USA channel, you can actually pull those in as a webinar for you. It's a YouTube video link, right? So you can pop that in and put it into webinar format or webinar funnel and send them right through that webinar as if they had attended that live webinar themselves, which they are. It's just a replay. And then you can have a link to take them to your affiliate link in Builderall. So there's a lot of neat things you can do. That could be an evergreen webinar, right? Doesn't even have to be just a one-time, one moment in time thing. It can be a forever on-demand thing. Okay. Gabriel, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I apologize if you hear a lot of noises. I have people cutting grass outside.
That's okay. I have a lot of noises in my head. People that are speaking all the time, so it's all good. You go ahead.
This makes it worse. I apologize. Do we have
too much Pink Floyd?
Maybe so. Maybe so.
I don't know. I haven't seen. Do they have the ability to click a button after they register and book their the webinar to their calendar?
We don't have that in our system, but
No.
there are ways that you can set that up. If you just Google and say HTML code for adding Google Calendar, or HTML code for adding to Google Calendar, that will probably pull up several sites that will give you the HTML code to be able to do like one click to add to a Google Calendar or to add to iCal or something like that.
Outlook, correct, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And then also, if I make an offer on the webinar, can I make that link, can I make the offer expire if they come in at a later date and click on the link trying to, because, you want to be, hey, this is only on this webinar. If you purchase, blah, 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 you get it for $99. Otherwise, it's going to go to 200, whatever.
Yeah, remember that box? Cover it with the box and have that box fade in after 30 minutes or 50 minutes or whatever you want. So that button will be there. The box is invisible. And at the end of 50 minutes, it's like, boom, there's a box. It could be a white box so that it actually looks like the button disappears.
Oh, okay. So, but if they save the link, they'll still have it.
Yeah. Well, and then you want to do if you're doing a checkout, you can set an expiration date for the checkout.
Oh, there you go. So that's probably, yeah. Okay. And if I work, because this is a lot of work, setting this whole thing up. Can I save this as a template for the future? All I have to come back is just use the whole setup and just go back and change the dates, the videos, the topic, etc., and just have 90% of the work done, so to speak.
Yeah, right? Absolutely. You can save this website and then you can duplicate the website anytime you want to, and then just go in and make those changes and you're ready for the next one.
So where would you go, in the Canvas, or how do you?
No, you'd go into your site list and there's a duplicate button in the site list.
Oh, okay, great. Because that saves a lot of, wow, thank you.
You're very welcome.
That's all I have.
A lot easier, doesn't it? Chip, go ahead.
First of all, can you hear me?
Yep, sure can.
Oh, good. I just switched microphones. Is it true that once you have gone from Canvas to create website, you cannot go back and remodify the canvas?
That's correct. If you try to remodify Canvas, it doesn't take the changes onto the website that you built. So it doesn't do any good. It used to be that if we created a canvas, we could generate the website and then we could generate another website off of it and another website off of it. But now that the CRM is connected, it's literally connected in a way that canvas creates that website and you're one and done. Now everything's connected and any changes you make to Canvas aren't going to be seen on the website. And any changes you make on the website are not going to be seen on Canvas.
Mhm. Okay, thanks. Can you?
Yeah, they're working on changing. They're working on changing that a bit because it is actually really hard. I know for me, when I build websites, I may get really excited, build. It looks great. I generate the website. I'm so excited. Then I'm like, crappity crap. I need to put one more page in there because I need such and such. Well, that one more page is not connected to Canvas and it's only on the website, and the CRM stuff is all kind of craziness. And yeah, so they're working on fixing that so that they are synchronized all the time, no matter if you add on the Canvas side or you add on the website side. But I can't tell you for sure if that's going to be an actuality or if they're just trying to work with it right now to see if they even can do it.
Okay. Is there any chance you can tell the difference in how I sound with this microphone?
You're sounding a little bit more bass. Like if you want to start singing, I don't think any of us would mind.
No, that's quite all right.
You sound like a radio host. Welcome to Keep Rome.
I'm waiting for you to say, and now, after the Shelley Show, be sure to tip your waitresses before the end of the night.
After the Shelley Show, be sure to tip your waitress. Thanks.
Fabulous. All right, you guys, let's go ahead and make this public and take a look at it and see what we got. So I'm going to jump in and share again. And I'm going to save one more time just because I can. I'm very obsessive about save. And then I'm going to go back to my dashboard and wow, look at that. I've got commissions coming in. Woohoo. And I'm going to go to the Pixel Perfect Builder and enter. And I'm going to look at my site list and see if I can find that website that we just created, and we'll make it public. So come on, baby. You can load. You can load. You can do it. All right. It's thinking really hard. There we go. And there's my webinar too. And right here is where you can duplicate the website. So if you want to make a copy so you get it exactly the way you want it, it's prettiful. You never want to change it again. Oh my gosh, this is perfect. And now you want to do a second webinar using the template that you created. Just click that duplicate button and it'll create a copy of that website for you. What I'm going to do is go ahead and click publish. So I'm going to click that button right there and then OK. And we're going to make it available on the internet so we can actually access it and see it live and in person. So it has to take all of that information and put it public on the internet. And then it's going to reload my site list. And when it reloads my site list, the name of the website is going to be blue. And that means it's a clickable link. So I can actually click it and go straight to the public version of that website. I can also right click the blue link and do copy address, and then I can share it to other people. So that's what I'm going to do with you guys. I copied the address. I'm going to share it in chat so you guys can check it out. We can all look at it together. So let me go share my screen again. And now we can actually take a look at this website and see what's happening with it. So I'm going to click it to look at the live version, and it's not quite showing yet. So something is wrong. So the layout scripts are not found. So my best guess is I have to do something with the header and something with the footer. Oh, and Shazam, I made money again. Yay. So let me go here, and I'm going to do something with the header and the footer. Let me click on it and find that little button that. There we go. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, and we'll just put an image on there just to be just to be different. So I'm going to put an image right here to make a little bit of a change to my header and footer. So there we go. We'll put that right here. We'll pretend like that is a beautiful logo. All of you guys can pretend with me. Beautiful logo. And then I'm going to do the same thing down here to the footer. I'm going to add something to the footer so that the layout scripts can actually run with content in it. And we'll see if that's the issue. So I'm just going to add another image to the footer. And we'll pretend like it's another logo. And we'll center it because we can. And then we'll save. And save again. And now let's see if that was enough to actually allow it to read the website. So I'm going to refresh. And that was enough. So that's a tip for you guys. Let me stop sharing a minute and I'll explain what happened. Was the website itself, we didn't do anything with the header and anything with the footer. So basically, when it was trying to read how to render the website, it was like, oh my God, you didn't put anything in the header, so I can't show it. There's something wrong, I can't show it. And you didn't put anything in the footer either, so I can't show that web page. So if you ever get an error like that, it just means you have to do something to the header and you have to do something to the footer, and then it'll actually render that website. Okay? Everybody got it? Go ahead, Gabriel.
Yeah, question. I'm full of questions. You know that.
I'm full of answers, so we're good batch.
Can we create, I think you mentioned in one of the webinars, other boot camps, we can create headers and footers as templates and just go and pick it up and just bring it into whatever website we set up. Is that?
You can, but it's a little bit different dynamic when you talk about Canvas, because Canvas creates its own layout, and it's a layout that has an empty header and an empty footer. So if you bring in another layout with the header and footer that you want, it's going to go into a new layout, right? You can't pull it in from just a page, because if you pull a page in, it will take on the header and footer.
No, not a page. Is it like a banner or something? Bring it as a banner. How would you bring it in? Just, I'm trying to templatize it to make it as a cookie cutter. You know what I mean? So, okay, I'm creating this website. It has to do with this domain. I'm going to create it here, and here's my logo, and here's all the links I want to appear or not appear, and just bring the header, bring the footer, save, done, move on. Make sense?
No, it's not that easy.
No.
Not that easy. It is literally a matter of, if you have a pre-created header and footer that you want to use, you have to create it and then pull the layout in and then move all of those pages into the layout, so they'll take on the header and footer that you created. So it's a big job. You'd have to do a lot more work, I think, than if you just created the header and footer yourself.
Could you add an additional page that has in the body your header and your footer, and then move that up into the header and down
Like
into the footer?
A banner, yeah, you could if it.
And then it would show up on all the pages.
No, it won't show up on all the pages, because you can't move a banner up and have it attached to the header. All it does is cover the header.
Okay.
Yeah.
You cannot create there's got to be a way to create a website or a page, and just maybe just have on that page just the header and the footer and nothing else, and bring the rest in it or whatever. I'm trying to simplify.
You absolutely can. But like I said, when you import it, it imports as a layout. And then in that layout, if you want all the other pages that are in the Canvas layout that was created, you have to move those pages to that layout that has the right header and the right footer, because there's just not another better way to import headers and footers. The other way, Gabriel, is to actually just create your template and put everything in the header and the footer that you want. And then really the only thing you probably should be changing is the logo. All the menus and stuff will probably be the same.
Yeah, so keep everything the same, and I'm trying, or maybe just work like we just were talking earlier, create a whole website, webinar funnel, but go ahead and do the header, the footer, and save that as a template. And now next time you go, you already pull it, right? You have the template.
I would definitely create like this thing that we're creating right now. If I created the headers that I liked and the footers that I liked, and then the content is great, all the pages I need, videos in place, content in place, fabulous, and I want that to be my template, then I just, exactly what you were talking about earlier, duplicate it, and then the header and footer will come with it when you duplicate it, and then just change the logo.
And maybe the time, yeah, everything else inside the page, right?
Yep, that would be the absolute easiest to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for.
To import a layout that already has it, because then it just creates all kinds of issues. Because again, you can only import headers and footers from a layout, so it'd have to be a separate layout, and then you'd have to import all the pages so they could take on those headers and footers, and it would be a pain in the butt.
All right, thank you.
You're very welcome. Any other questions, you guys? I can't remember if somebody else had their hand up. I don't want to miss you. Okay, let's keep going. So I'm going to go ahead and jump in and share my screen. And this is the live version, like live and in person. And I'm going to go ahead and fill out an email. So I'm going to do Shelly@builderalldiva.com. And I'm going to click register now. And I should go to the email confirmation page. And the email confirmation page is actually giving me a script error as well. So let's go ahead and see what's going on the page. Let's go to the HTML, and we'll go to the script page. So there we go. And we'll just wiggle that image a little bit, just like that. And we'll wiggle that image a little bit, just like that, and save. And I'm probably going to have to do that with all the pages. So I'm going to go here and go to the next page and wiggle that image a little bit, move it just a little bit, and wiggle that image a little bit, and then save. And then do the other page as well. So go down. This is kind of one of those crazy things that you got to do. So I'll wiggle that one a little bit, and I'll wiggle that one a little bit, just like that, and then save. And save. And then I'll do, what do I got left? 2 more. So I'll wiggle that one a little bit. And wiggle the bottom one a little bit. I can get down there. My mouse is acting really weird. All right, so I got that one, and save. And then we'll go one more, I think. So let's take a look. That page, the thank you page. We'll wiggle that one a little bit, and go down to the bottom and wiggle that one a little bit, and then save. And let's see if that worked. So I'll go back to my live site and refresh it. And it's still giving me grief. So we'll go back and do a little bit more work to it. So we'll go to email right here. And let's move this down a little bit. And this one we'll make a little bit smaller so it fits inside our space, just like that. And we'll make sure that this is just like that. So save. Fabulous. And I may have to do all my pages like that. So let me see if that did the trick. So I'll go back to the live site. There we go. So now the email confirmation page is working, and it says just one more step to go, and that's confirm the email. So now let me jump into my email. So daily email, Shelly Turner. And we'll see we got a confirmation email. It's right there. So I'll just go ahead and click confirm. And now I'm on the congratulations, you're successfully registered page. So this tells me that I've registered for the webinar, and it gives me instructions on what I need to do next. And then I'm going to click next step. And this should take me to the indoctrination page. And this gets me ready, like your webinar is going to start in about 30 minutes. We're really excited that you're here and ready to go. Be sure that you scroll down and pay attention to all the instructions before the webinar starts. And then the button to join the webinar. So let's say that we're getting ready and oh my gosh, the webinar is going to get ready to start. Let me join the webinar. So I'm going to click join. And now I go to the join page, and I should see this right here. And the webinar is, of course, not live yet, so it's not going to be showing. And I'm not sure why the numbers are there, because I thought we deleted it, but you know, that's just another story. So now we're just waiting on the webinar to start, and that should start at about 5 p.m. Okay. So far, besides just the issue with loading the page, and that's just because the header and the footer needed to be jiggled a little bit, kind of activated, so that it can be rendered correctly. But other than that, everything looks like it's working pretty well. So at 5 o'clock, we should actually see that video pop up of the, or 5 o'clock Central Time, 6 o'clock Eastern Time. We should see the video pop up of the roulette wheel and that training, and it should last it's about 12 minutes, but I set it at 15 minutes. All right, so any questions about that? Pretty easy, right, you guys? Yeah.
Once you do it once or twice, yes. The answer is
honestly, the hardest part to me in any website that you build, no matter what, is design and content. And it's funny because Canvas does, the structure for you, the blueprint for you, and they've made it way easier to do the structure for you. But it's still the biggest challenge to do content and design. So make it pretty. But the good thing is that Canvas actually helps with the make it pretty, because they do have those themes out there. So you can grab the themes and actually work with those themes. And that does make it a little bit easier because you've already got some design in there. So it doesn't take a ton of time to actually come up with a brand spanking new design from scratch. So that's actually a little helpful. The next one is just setting everything up. So setting your webinar up, make sure your emails say exactly what you want them to say, connecting the chat bot, and then doing the Canvas to create the funnel. And then once you create the actual website, then you got to go in and do the content and do the design, and then double, triple, quadruple, however many times it takes you to check to make sure that every single button, every single form, every single webinar is correct before you go live. There should never, ever be a moment where you pick something from Canvas and you're like, all right, there's the funnel, generate website, add my content. I'm not going to double check anything. I'm just going to let her rip. You are going to fail because that's not the way the internet works. You have to double, triple, quadruple check things. And even then, right before the webinar, you should be checking everything again. Why do I say that? Because I'm an IT girl, and I have set up so many networks and so many computers and so many websites and so many mobile apps. And even when you are obsessive compulsive like me checking things, it still may not work. There still may be something in there that's not going to work. So you want to make sure that your I's are dotted and your T's are crossed at all times. And if this was easy, everybody would do it, right? Not everybody runs webinars. You have to get in there and dig in and set it up, and then double check it, triple check it, and quadruple check it to make sure it's set up right. Okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah, Shelly, would you mind if you put that in the to-do list or the homework page? Is there any way you can put the steps, do this, do this, do this, so that way we don't have to go like you were talking earlier with Cheap about not once you go in Canvas. I was a little bit puzzled there, confused. Once you go in Canvas and you work on the website and you go back and you know what I mean, and now you have to, it's not gonna save. I'm not 100% clear on what you were talking about there. And it sounds to me like you have to do things in a certain order, and that way you don't work twice. Make sense what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know if you can hear me.
Oh, you froze. I don't know. Is it me or?
Yeah, I was frozen. I could tell I was frozen, and all I heard from you was oh. So I didn't hear anything. So
I
if
think
you
he's
can say it
asking
again,
for
and I apologize. That was the internet being mean to you and me.
He's asking for a list like the one I sent you from yesterday.
Did everybody else hear me okay?
Sorry, say it again. The internet is like freaking out. Yeah,
He'd like
I
to
can
know
hear
if
you. Can you guys
if
hear me
there's a
okay now?
list-
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay, good. Whew. Thought I was lost for a minute. Go ahead, Chip.
I think he's asking for a list of steps like the one from yesterday that I sent you.
Yeah,
And I've been
I'll be
doing the
glad
same
to add
thing
that to the
today.
resources.
And I didn't know how to make it available to people because it won't paste into the chat.
Awesome.
So how could it become available?
I can definitely add it to the resources. I've got that in our private chat, so I'll just grab it and put it in the resources for today.
Okay.
Okay.
Shelley, with all the trouble
Can you hear
you
me?
have with the
Am I
internet,
live
can
yet?
you imagine if the hurricane came through, you'd be lost for weeks.
I know, right? And it's only when I'm doing these lives like this. It's like, yeah, Shelley, I think that my internet company has a camera inside my room, and they're like, she's live. Turn the internet off. Turn it off. Slow it down. It drives me nuts. But I do have Chip's step by step of everything he did, and I'll make sure to add that to the resources for today's training. If you can hear me, that's what I'll do, is add Chip's step by step to the resources. Okay.
Thank you.
Everybody there, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, sorry about that, you guys.
A little thing there, Shelley. What I did today, I was noticing that my internet was intermittent. I rang my ISP and they found a lot of interference on the line. And it was blocking some of the packet data, and you need the packet data sometimes when you're downloading different files. Like I have a major issue with Screencast-O-Matic. It's just not downloading all the thing, and I'm trying to import, export, can't do it. I can video all that, but I can't import or export. And
that you do the update, because Screencast-O-Matic just had an update just a couple days ago.
Yeah, but your man, the support was in Zoom with me for 4 hours, and we could not suss it out. Yeah, incredible. He was absolute. I have to say, Screencast-O-Matic, everybody, you should be using it, and the support is absolutely fantastic.
Yep.
Now, a lad called Logan.
They're lacking is their video tutorials, because their video tutorials suck. I just gave up on learning from the video tutorials and just dug in and learned it myself.
You should do it for them. You should say you'll do it for them. I'll do it. I'll rob it on you. No way. I wouldn't do that on you. No way. That's your idea.
No time.
Your idea.
But yeah, Screencast-O-Matic is really good. And I was having problems with the herky-jerky thing with Screencast-O-Matic, and I did the update, and now it's actually working fine for me again. So
he gave me developers downloads, loads of downloads. We put it in, and the same thing. It just crashed every time I go to import. The whole thing crashes.
Weird. That's very
very strange. Yeah, but hey, it's a great piece of kit, though. Gosh, I can still.
They'll figure it out.
Still work. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But for you guys that are able to hear me now, I think that Chip mentioned that he's got a list that he put together, checklist 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of everything you're supposed to do, and he sent that to me in a private message. So if it's okay with Chip, I'll actually share that in the resource area and drop that there for you guys so that you can kind of follow those steps and see if that helps you with setting up your webinar. Okay, is that all right?
Okay, and then he was asking if you would put that in steps for what you did today.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
I've got that.
Oh, do you have it? Okay.
Yeah. When I put it in Messenger, I have to put the numbers back in, but that's not a big deal.
Okay, if you send it to me, I'll add it. I'll add that one to the resources as well.
Get it in a minute.
Thank you, Chief. You get the tip.
All right, Frank, question or comment?
Yeah, so first off, great training today. I actually was kind of trying to try it as we were kind of moving right along, and I set the on-demand webinar to start right at 12:30, and it started perfectly fine. Now, is this effective using mobile devices? So if somebody was just to see us broadcast either live or on demand, they're able to see it on mobile, it'll be fine. And will they be also able to chat from their mobile device?
Yes, the chat is actually in there, and the way I've seen it set up is that it is responsive. So it takes the video and then puts the chat underneath it. And they can chat. And then, of course, if you have the chat set up to go through to Facebook Messenger, it'll come to you, and then you can send the message back.
Okay. And then the other question was, now when you go live, it has to be you broadcasting live to either Facebook or YouTube at the same time. Is that correct?
No, it's going live into the broadcast room.
Okay. Okay.
So for this particular webinar that we did today, it's not going live to Facebook. It's not going live to YouTube. It's only going live to that broadcast page on that web page that was set up.
Okay. Now, when you're going live, it doesn't save the video anywhere, or how do you get that video that
actually, there's a setting in there to record the video. Let me see if I can find it. I haven't shown that to you guys yet. I don't think I have. Hold on. Making money here. Yay me. Let's see. I'm going to go to settings. Oh, it won't record because it's set to a YouTube video, so it's not going to record. So the only way that I'm going to get a record is if I get the content from a live stream. And let's see. Let me see if I can find where this is supposed to be. There is a record capability, and I'm going to have to find it because I can't remember where it's at. But if you're doing a live stream webinar, you have the ability to record it, and then when you go back and do content, you can actually create the evergreen webinar by choosing a recorded webinar that you did live.
So I guess my question from here, where I'm a little bit confused, is let's say I was to just go live. I guess I'm not sure on how I would do that.
Well, this one, if you want to stream live, then you do everything that we did today.
Yeah.
Right. Everything that we did today. Right. And then you're going to open your streaming tool, and you can start streaming live straight to that
okay.
broadcast page.
Okay.
Does that make
and
sense?
there's where you say where you said it would have that the ability to record, right? Select record.
Yes. Yes. Let me look through that again because I've lost the record button. I can't remember where it's at. So let me look at it again and see if I can remember where that record button's at. But any live webinar that you could do, you have the ability to record it and then go back and either send them to a page. Remember that record link, right? So you can create, instead of a broadcast page, you can create a replay page, and then give them the link on that webinar setting. And when it sends out the replay email, it will put that replay link in there of the page that you set up to do that. Or you can set it up so that it's evergreen webinar, and you've grabbed that recording that you made, and that's the evergreen webinar, is a previous live that you did.
So with the recording that we do, let's say we do a recording live, and let's say, what is the max? Because obviously the video is getting recorded down to and placed on the server of Builderall. So there's got to be a max time about.
I don't remember if it indicates a max. I cannot remember. But I would say that, well, you know, Eric has done like a 3, 4, 5 hour webinar. So it can handle a pretty big size file.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. You're welcome. Any other questions, you guys?
When you go live and you do it live, does it automatically, you got to click record or anything, or how does it?
Yeah, I'm going to find the record button because honestly, I can't remember where it's at. It's another one of those like the chat bot where it's kind of hidden and you got to click something to get something else.
Okay.
So let me check that out and I'll let you guys know tomorrow. Okay. Any other good questions, you guys? Or bad questions? We take either one. All right. So your homework tonight is I want you to go through with Canvas. And I want you to create a webinar from Canvas. There's several different webinar blueprints, so you can pick any one you want. And I want you to kind of play with those pages, set up the opt-in form, set up the webinar itself, set up, if you want to do a checkout and practice with the checkout, you can do that, however you want to do it. But set up a practice webinar and let it run and see what comes of it. And make it easy on yourself. Just set it up as a YouTube video. That way you don't have to worry about going live and setting up the live and making sure you're ready, because we'll talk about doing a brand spanking new live webinar tomorrow. And that is your homework for tonight, is create a webinar, connect it to a website that you built with Canvas, and then see if it'll kick off at the time that it's supposed to kick off. And just remember that it's military time, not 12-hour Shelley time. Go ahead, Gabriel.
Kelly, I got another idea. I don't know if I'm talking too much here, but forgive me, everybody.
No, it's great. I think everybody likes that because it can be so stuffy, just learning, okay, step 1 is this, step 2 is that, step 3 is this. When you've got great ideas flowing, it makes the learning even better. So hit us with your idea.
Idea/suggestion. You did a lot of tell, show, and we're doing the try. I don't know if it's okay with you if you can do it big. You can do it yourself. We don't have to be on a webinar, or we can be on a webinar. But then, so that way you don't have to explain so much. You don't have to talk so much. But then you just go ahead and do all these steps in the right sequence. And maybe the video is going to be 45 minutes, an hour at the max. And now we see the whole process. So you can just say, now I'm setting up the mailing boss, and you're just doing it. And so now we see the whole thing, and here's the completed product. Make sense, right?
Yeah, that's not a bad idea. That's kind of what I
tried. But then it was like trying to go piece it back together is gonna take a long time. It's gonna be done, but if it's like, oh, okay, wow, this is, man, it's so easy, it's so smooth. It just puts everything together.
Yeah, that's kind of what I tried to do with this boot camp, but it is so hard because there's so many moving pieces. That's why I wanted to try to do the Facebook and YouTube live first, and then the Facebook, YouTube lives with participants, and then the next day doing it the long way to set it up by setting up the individual pages. So you've got that deep knowledge of how to do that part. And then of course today setting up through Canvas. And then tomorrow we'll actually set up a live webinar so you can see if I'm going live, how I would do that. Okay.
Yeah. All right. So that's my suggestion. Thank you.
And would you also record it and show us how to do that?
Which one? All of them, or just
tomorrow? The one that you do tomorrow.
Yeah, that'll be recorded for you guys during the boot camp. Yep. Yeah, we're going to set a live webinar up together. So we're going to talk about me going live, a certain date, a certain time. We're going to set up the pages. We're going to make it happen. And then you can actually attend the live if you want to. Okay? Sound
One
good?
One last question, Shelley. I'm jumping ahead of time. Would we have a boot camp next week again?
We do have a boot camp next week, and it is on selling physical products, I think.
Right.
And with the new super checkout, I'm going to show you a couple of different ways that you can sell physical products using Builderall.
All right, cool. So I'll book it.
Where you can find physical products. That's another thing I'll do, is not just show you how to sell them using the regular checkout and the super checkout, but also where to find physical products, how to price them, how to do drop shipping. There's a lot of stuff that we're going to do in that training. Okay.
Great. Looking forward to it. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. I'm excited about that one too. That's another one that I made a killing 2 years ago when that was the first thing I did with Builderall, was drop shipping. And I drop shipped finger monkeys. I don't know if you guys remember those, but those are the little monkeys that you put on your finger, and they would close their eyes and they would move their tail and stuff like that. They were really cute. And you couldn't find them anywhere. And I found a source and made a killing off of that, and fidget spinners. Fidget spinners had hit really, really hard. I know, I hated them, Chip. If I'd still been a teacher, I'd have thrown every one I saw away. But for an entrepreneur, that was a great one to sell. So I found some really good resources on fidget spinners. I put those two websites together and made enough money to cover all of the Christmas presents that we bought for Christmas time. So it was a lot of money. I was really stunned at how much money we made. It just so happened that I hit it right at the right time, did two perfect products. Doesn't happen all the time that way, but I'm going to show you how to find products and how to source them out how to do drop shipping so you never have to touch them, and how to set it up in the checkout so that all of it happens pretty much almost automatically. Okay. All right. So tomorrow we're going to do we're going to set up a live webinar, and then we'll set it up for a time so that all of you guys can actually attend the live webinar. And I don't know what I'm going to teach on, because by then the boot camp will be done, but we'll figure it out. We'll set all that up tomorrow so you can see how a live one's done, and then I'll find that elusive record button so we can see how to record it and turn it into a evergreen webinar. Okay. All right, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and let you go. Y'all have a fabulous day, and I will see you all over Facebook, all over the internet, and don't forget to build something amazing with Builderall. Bye, you guys.
Thank you, Shelley.
Thanks,
Bye,
Shelley.
everyone.
Thank you.
Night, night. Bye-bye.